Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this review, I'm going to be reviewing the second movie of the. I'm going to be continuing my reviews, I should say, of the Nightmare on Elm Street film series, and this one I'm going to be reviewing the 1985 film, The Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, starring Robert Englund. Once again, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. The star of the movie. Of course, this movie picks up approximately 5 years after, even though the movie came out the very next year after the first movie. So the original Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 1984, and Nightmare on Elm Street 2 came out the very next year, 1985. But this movie is set 5 years after the events of the original film. Of course, it still takes place on Elm Street, and it's in the same house as in the original film with Maynard. And now, instead of having the original family in there, now you have a brand new family moved into the house that was in the first film. And the new family that's in there, they found a diary from the girl who was the only survivor from the original movie, and they started reading the book, and the son who moved in, or the older son who moved into the Elm Street house, is having some bad nightmares, because the whole nightmare thing is happening again. And this time, it's a guy who's involved, and not a woman or a teenage daughter like in the original movie. Well, the son, reading the diary of the girl who lived in that house before him, and he starts reading about this guy named Freddy Krueger, who or this demon goes into people's dreams and kills you in your dreams. So it's trying to not fall asleep thing. And then he realizes over the course of the film that Freddy Krueger is trying to take over his body, even though he was pretty much taken care of in the first movie. But his soul, he hasn't, died. He's like one of the serial killer slasher films, like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, who doesn't die. You can kill him 20 million times, and it will come back 20 million times as well. Many times you kill him, he comes back. So he's trying to come back by getting into the body of the kid who's now living in the Elm Street house. It's basically what the plot is, and eventually they do, at the end of these slasher films, they do beat him. But it's pretty cool, premise of Freddy Krueger trying to come back into somebody else's body, and I thought that was pretty cool, and also it grosses people out a little bit, because you see his body you see Freddy Krueger's head coming out of the guy's chest, and all that type of thing. I thought it was kind of gross, but they do have and these are practical special effects. So there's no CGI in this movie, so the effects are a little more. Special effects in these slasher films are a little bit more effective because you didn't have CGI because the budgets were not that big. I think the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, they had a little bit higher budgets than, let's say, the Halloween films or the Friday the 13th movies, because they had pretty meager budgets. But I think Nightmare on Elm Street, the Nightmare on Elm Street films had a little bit higher budgets. So the special effects are a little bit better than than in the other slasher films I just mentioned. So there's pretty much, I don't have anything much to say about the second film, except it pretty much, like I said, it picked up 5 years later, and after the first film, and it's pretty interesting premise on how Freddy comes back. Because it's always interesting to know is that how Freddy gets killed at the end of the movies. That's one, and two, how does he come back in the next film in the series? Because that's why it worked in the old Universal monster films, and that's what works in the slasher films too. Is that how are they going to bring back the villain? how they're going to bring back, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, or Jason Voorhees. How they come back after being killed at the end of the previous film. That's how it works, and that's what people always were interested in that. And for the first few movies, I've seen right now at this point, as I'm doing this video, the first three movies. I am planning to review the third one coming after this one, as I finish doing this video for the second review of the second film. And this is the first time I'm seeing these movies, and so far they were playing like straight horror movies. So at least definitely the first two, and then it get really crazy in terms of with the lines that the Freddy Krueger mentions. I think that's why Freddy Krueger is one of the more popular ones out of the. I think Jason's like number one. Freddy Krueger is like pretty much tied with Freddy Krueger, because don't forget they had that movie together, the Freddy vs. Jason film, and of course too, when they held Michael Myers like down here, because Michael Myers is done in all of the Halloween films, which I previously mentioned, and you should check out my reviews of the Halloween films. Even though I don't think I've done season Halloween 3. I have to double check on my reviews list. It's been so long ago since I did those. But for Friday the 13th, not Friday, the Nightmare on Elm Street, I think the second one is okay. I mean, it does pick up almost after the events of what happened in the first one. And they do have references to what happened in the first film in this movie, even though nobody from the original film came back in this one. I told you, the ones who survived in the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, you didn't see them in the second film. But that's going to change in the next film. In Nightmare on Elm Street 3, that's going to change. I'm going to mention it when I review that one. But I thought this one wasn't a bad premise. I just wish that if they put the characters from the original movie into the second film, instead of waiting to put them in the third film, I think I will like this movie a little bit better. As if it picks it right up after the events of the first movie, like they did with Halloween, or maybe with Friday the 13th, I will like this one better. But I guess they want to buck that trend, I guess, for Freddy's Revenge. So that's my review of the movie Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Please click on the video, please subscribe to my channel, please follow this video on your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews and all on my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com. It's all WDY.com. There's the homepage of Christine Moore, the Rowdy Reviewer. Please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.